Good evening. Tonight we're diving into a crisis that's quietly unraveling beneath our feet, the commercial real estate market. It's a story that's not making front-page headlines, but its impact could ripple through every corner of our economy. While you've been scrolling through memes and catching up on the latest viral trends, a $929 billion time bomb has been ticking away, almost unnoticed. This isn't just a number, it's a looming threat that could change the way our cities look and function. This isn't some distant threat, or a problem for another country or another decade. It's happening right now, in cities and towns everywhere, from the biggest metropolises to the smallest suburbs. The problem? A mountain of debt tied to office buildings, shopping malls, and even apartment complexes is coming due. These aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet, these are the places where people work, shop, and live. Nearly $1 trillion in loans must be paid, back or refinanced soon. For many property owners, the clock is ticking, and the options are running out. But here's the catch, the properties backing these loans have plummeted in value. What was once a bustling office tower or a thriving mall is now sitting half empty, or worse, completely vacant. Imagine owing Ferrari money on a vehicle now worth less than a rusty bike. That's the reality for countless landlords and investors right now. Their assets have lost value, but their debts remain sky high. Thousands of property owners, and the banks that lent to them, are staring into a financial abyss. The stress is mounting, and the consequences could be severe for everyone involved. This isn't 2008 all over again. It's slower, quieter, and potentially more dangerous. Instead of a sudden crash, we're seeing a drawn-out unraveling, with uncertainty lurking around every corner. The buildings that shape our skylines, those glass towers and sprawling malls, are now liabilities, not assets. They're becoming symbols of a changing world, where remote work and online shopping have rewritten the rules. Vacancy signs are everywhere, and the financial system is quietly rotting from within. Every empty office or shuttered store is a warning sign that's easy to overlook, until it's too late. Banks and property owners are scrambling to hide losses, hoping no one notices. Behind closed doors, tough conversations are happening, and desperate measures are being considered. But the truth is, this slow-motion train wreck is already underway. The cracks are spreading, and the damage is piling up, even if it's not always visible from the outside. From Manhattan's iconic skyline to the office parks of the Midwest, property values are collapsing. No region is immune, and the effects are starting to ripple outward. The financial wizards who built this house of cards are running out of tricks. Creative accounting and optimistic forecasts can only go so far when the fundamentals are crumbling. Most people have no idea this is happening, but it is. While life goes on as usual for many, the foundations of our cities and our financial system are shifting beneath our feet. So tonight, we're pulling back the curtain on this $929 billion monster. We're exposing the risks, the realities, and the reasons why you should care. Even if you don't own a single square foot of commercial property, if you don't know what's coming, you can't prepare. The ripple effects could touch your job, your savings, and even the value of your home. And trust me, you'll want to be ready, because when the dust settles, those who saw the warning signs will be in a much better position than those who ignored them. Let's break down what's really at stake. We'll look at how this crisis could impact banks, local economies, and even the services you rely on every day. Because this silent crash could hit closer to home than you think. The next chapter could be written in your own neighborhood, and the time to pay attention is now. Let's talk about that $929 billion number for a moment. It's a staggering figure, almost $1 trillion in commercial real estate debt coming due in just the next 2 years. This isn't just a statistic, it's a ticking clock for the entire industry. That's the amount of commercial real estate debt maturing this year and next. The bill is due, and there's no easy way to pay it. All across America, skyscrapers and office parks are facing a financial reckoning. This looming deadline is what experts call the maturity wall. And unlike past crises, we're not just approaching it, we're about to slam into it head first. The consequences could ripple through the entire economy. But here's what makes this moment unique. Unlike the sudden, dramatic collapse of the housing market in 2008, what we're seeing now is a slow, grinding deflation. It's not a single event, but a drawn-out process that's quietly draining value from the system. The problem isn't reckless lending or bad borrowers this time. The real issue is that the world itself has changed, almost overnight. The way we work, the way we use space, it's all been upended. Remote work, once a perk, has become the norm for millions. Office buildings that were once bustling with activity, steady sources of income for landlords and investors, are now eerily quiet. Now, these buildings are just expensive, empty boxes. They're still costing money to maintain, but they're no longer generating the revenue they once did. The value of these buildings, the collateral backing all that debt, has evaporated. Properties that were once worth millions are now struggling to find buyers, or even tenants. This isn't just another real estate bubble popping, it's a permanent shift in how we work and live. The demand for traditional office space has fundamentally changed, perhaps forever. You can't just wait for office demand to bounce back when companies are downsizing, consolidating, or ditching their leases for good. Many businesses have discovered they simply don't need as much space as they once did. It's like trying to sell horse-drawn buggies after everyone's bought a car. The world has moved on, and the old model just doesn't fit anymore. The demand isn't coming back, not in the way it once was. Entire office parks and downtown districts are being left behind, with vacancy rates climbing higher every month. Behind the scenes, banks and property owners are quietly managing the problem, hoping no one notices. They're restructuring loans, delaying foreclosures and trying to buy time. But the losses are real, and they're growing. Every month more properties slip underwater, and the financial pressure mounts. This is a crisis unfolding in silence, not chaos. There are no dramatic headlines or market crashes, just a slow, relentless erosion of value, and that's what makes it so dangerous. When a crisis creeps in quietly, it's much harder to see, and even harder to stop. Commercial real estate loans aren't like your 30-year home mortgage. They're short-term, 5, 7, maybe 10 years, and often interest only. Borrowers pay just the interest, then owe the full amount in a giant balloon payment at the end. The whole system relies on being able to refinance when the loan comes due. That worked when property values rose and interest rates were low. But now, values are falling and rates have soared. When the bill comes due, owners are underwater. Their buildings are worth less than the loans. Banks aren't eager to refinance, and if they do, it's at much higher rates. Owners are trapped. They can't pay off the old loan and can't get a new one. The perpetual motion machine of commercial real estate has seized up. This is the broken gear grinding the whole system to a halt. It's not just a few unlucky owners, it's the entire industry, and the consequences are rippling outward. The fantasy is over, reality has arrived. Let's put this in perspective. The story of commercial real estate right now isn't about a sudden collapse, but a slow-motion unraveling that's quietly reshaping cities across America. Picture this. Back in 2017, a developer buys a gleaming office tower for $100 million. To make the deal work, he borrows $70 million from the bank at a low 3% interest rate, a deal that seemed like a no-brainer at the time. For years, everything runs smoothly. The developer pays the interest, tenants fill the offices, rent checks arrive on time, and the building hums with activity. It's a textbook example of how commercial real estate is supposed to work. But fast forward to today, the world has changed. The building is now half empty, echoing with silence where workers once bustled. Remote work, shifting business needs, and economic uncertainty have slashed demand. The building's value has plummeted to just $50 million, half of what it was. Now the loan is due. The developer needs to refinance, but no bank will lend $70 million against a property worth only $50 million. The math just doesn't add up. At best, he might secure a $30 million loan, leaving a massive $40 million gap. That's money he simply doesn't have, and investors are getting nervous. Even if a bank does agree to refinance the full amount, there's a catch. Interest rates have doubled. Monthly payments soar, but rental income has collapsed. The numbers no longer work. This isn't just one developer's nightmare. Thousands of property owners across the country are facing the same impossible choices. They're stuck, watching their investments unravel. This isn't a sudden crash like 2008. It's a slow, grinding process, one building at a time, one loan at a time. The cityscape is changing, not with a bang, but with a drawn-out sigh. The very foundation of commercial real estate, endless refinancing and ever-rising values, has cracked. The old playbook no longer works. Owners are left with two grim options: hand back the keys and walk away, or plead with banks for temporary relief, hoping for a miracle turnaround. It's a double whammy: collapsing property values and soaring interest rates. The financial pressure is relentless, squeezing owners from both sides. The implosion is slow, but the shockwaves are spreading far beyond the buildings themselves. Local economies, city budgets, and even small businesses are feeling the tremors. And this isn't just a big city problem. From bustling downtowns to quiet suburban strips, the pain is spreading to small towns and communities everywhere. For property owners, managers, and tenants, the anxiety is real. Jobs are at risk, dreams are on hold, and uncertainty hangs in the air. And unfortunately, this is just the beginning. The system is breaking down, one loan at a time, one building at a time. Each default sends ripples through the financial system, making the next one more likely. And right now, there's no easy fix in sight. The slow-motion implosion continues, reshaping the landscape of American cities and towns, one empty office at a time. The epicenter of this crisis, Office buildings. The pandemic rewired work. Companies realized they didn't need massive headquarters, and employees liked skipping the commute. Office demand has collapsed, and vacancy rates have soared to record highs. In cities like San Francisco, some office towers have lost over 70% of their value. These aren't just empty floors, they're entire buildings sitting vacant, draining money. The value proposition of downtown offices is gone. Owners slash rents and offer deals, but the demand isn't coming back. Business districts are turning into ghost towns. The office apocalypse is real, and it's the main driver of this unfolding catastrophe. So what do banks do when owners can't pay and foreclosing means huge losses? Enter extend and pretend, the art of kicking the can down the road. Banks extend loans, tweak terms, and avoid recognizing losses, hoping things magically improve. Everyone pretends the loan is fine, but it's just a zombie on life support. This delays the pain but makes the eventual reckoning worse. The losses are hidden, not gone. Zombie banks look healthy but are rotting inside. The longer they pretend, the bigger the hole gets. Eventually, reality catches up, and the crash is even harder. This isn't just a Wall Street problem. Regional banks, who lend to local offices and malls, are most exposed. When these loans go bad, banks stop lending, choking off credit for small businesses and families. Local governments lose property tax revenue, forcing cuts to schools, roads, and services. Empty buildings mean lost jobs for cleaners, security, and nearby small businesses. The pain ripples out. Fewer jobs, shuttered shops, and struggling communities. The crisis starts in boardrooms, but ends at your local diner. It's a slow bleed that hits Main Street hardest. Extend and pretend doesn't just delay pain, it breeds zombie banks. These banks are technically insolvent, kept alive by accounting tricks. They stop lending, starving the economy of credit. Or they take wild risks, hoping for a miracle. Hidden losses create uncertainty and distrust. No one knows which banks are safe. This is how financial systems freeze up, as in 2008. Trust is the foundation. When it's gone, the whole system is at risk. The rot spreads in darkness, until the floorboards finally collapse. So, what can you do? First, check your bank. FDIC insurance covers up to $250,000 per depositor per bank. If you have more, spread it across different insured banks. Pay special attention if your bank is small and heavily exposed to commercial real estate. If you're a small business owner, secure your credit now. Don't wait for banks to tighten lending. Diversify your investments. Don't bet everything on real estate or any single asset class. The turmoil in commercial real estate could spill into other sectors. A well-diversified portfolio is your best defense. In summary, check your bank insurance, lock in your credit, and spread your risk. It's not flashy, but it's smart. The storm is brewing. Be ready. Knowledge is your best protection.